Well, how will all these global updates that you saw in the previous segment impact our own markets? We now have our research team joining in with the Power Prep segment to tell you all about today's trading session. Well, it's been a pretty choppy moves for the Nifty over the last couple of trading sessions. The index made a new high, of course, above 25,330, but then that's where the index has taken a bit of a pause. And even in yesterday's trading session, which was the weekly expiry, we opened gap up. We could not sustain above those levels. We tried testing 25,200, but we could not sustain above that either, and eventually closed below 25,150. So now 25,300 becomes that barrier for the index that it needs to cross. And even for the week now, the Nifty, even the contributors yesterday, it was Reliance that led the downside for the Nifty. It was some bit of selling pressure coming in there after the bonus issue was approved. That was offset by heavyweights like ITC, HDFC Bank, Infosys, and some buying coming in for Titan as well. And that four stocks offset the losses that came in from Reliance Industries. Now for the week, the Nifty is flat, well, kind of flat with a negative bias, of course. It'll be the first weekly drop in 4 weeks if we do manage to end lower today as well. The Nifty Bank, though, has emerged as the outperformer. We've been speaking through this week that this might be the week for the Nifty Bank. It's still not above those 51,500 levels, but still trading with the positive bias for the week. The outperformer, though, came from the broader markets, and it was the small cap index that led the charge yesterday in an otherwise wobbly market, if you could call it that. The small cap index was up almost 1%. There were some very important cues that we need to track today, some questions that we need to ask. Do we see another range-bound session today because all eyes are on the all-important jobs data? Will HDFC Bank and ITC continue to support the Nifty today? And of course, will the broader market outperformance continue in today's session as well? Of course, all eyes on the non-farm payrolls, the QIPs, block deals, they continue. Some listings today as well, and the Godfrey Phillips AGM, where everybody will have their eyes on. The GIFT Nifty so far is suggesting a slightly negative start for our own markets. Now over to Vamakshi, who would list out the stocks you need to watch out for today. Vamakshi, belated birthday wishes. What's on your list today?
Well, thank you so much for that, Ormaz. Good morning. Let me first start off with Finolex Cables. Nikhil Nayak has stepped down as the chairman, and they've appointed Ratnakar Barve in his place. Godfrey Phillips will also be in focus on the back of its promoter dispute as well as the AGM that is scheduled today. The Delhi High Court has refused to restrain Beena Modi from voting on behalf of K Modi's 48% shares for her own reappointment. In fact, Delhi HC says that there is no merit in Ruchir Modi's plea seeking to restrain her from voting in the AGM scheduled today. Sundaram Clayton is the next one that I'm watching out for. The company has commissioned commercial production of aluminium die castings effective today at State Industries Promotion Corporation of Tamil Nadu. Ashoka Buildcon is the next one I'm watching out for. Its arm Viva Highways has monetized the Pune land parcel for around 450 crores. Pidilite has entered into an exclusive distribution agreement with Caltech Group, and the company will serve as an exclusive distributor of the company's products in India. NLC India and GMDC also on our radar. The Coal Ministry has issued allocation orders for 3 commercial coal mines, which includes an allocation for the Machakata coal mine to NLC India and the Kudanali Lubri coal mine to GMDC. KC International in focus on the back of a couple of order wins. They've received orders worth 1,423 crores for design, supply and installation of transmission lines in Saudi Arabia. Camlin Fine Sciences is expected to consider fundraising via rights issue on September 10th. And lastly, watch out for Nucleus Software, and that is because the company will be buying back nearly 1.67% of its equity for 1,615 per share. The overall buyback size is 72.4 crores. The buyback opens on September 9th and closes on September 13th.
Well, actually, thanks a lot for that update. Now joining in is Nigel with cues from the FNO space. Nigel, good to have you back on the show. What's the setup on the FNO side looking like?
Well, yesterday it seems the markets were preempting something, or a weak overnight handover, because towards the end of the trading session, maybe it's an expiry-related factor, or maybe in fact, they were sensing that maybe you get a weaker handover, but we ended virtually at the low point of the day. So that's about yesterday's trade. But I don't think there's any big reason to worry. The dollar index is softer, which is good news from an India market perspective. Brent crude prices as well closer around the lower end of the range, and both these two work in India's favor. In terms of yesterday's trading action from the FNO market, well, you saw the Nifty futures premium actually moved up a little bit, and there was unwinding of positions both on the Nifty as well as the Nifty Bank, so no need to worry on that front. What did the FIs do? Well, they're still net long, but they have unwound some of those long positions, so it's come down from the start of this week from around 2.5 lakh contracts, closer to around 2 lakh contracts, and in percentage terms, the long positioning is at around 68%. Moving to the client positioning, well, we have been saying that they are short, but they as well have been covering their shorts, which I view as a positive because the clients are the ones that normally get it right, and they have been covering the shorts as the market has seen a couple of down days. So it's cut by close to around 50,000 contracts. Options data comes up for you in the screen, 25,200 call, 25,000 put. Both of them were fairly active in yesterday's trading session. And going by the premium and plugging in the numbers out there, on the downside, 24,950 becomes extremely crucial on the downside. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that mark because there was writing being seen at the 25,000 put. While on the upside, the recent high has been around that 25,350 odd. So that becomes a bit of a resistance zone. The Nifty Bank, that's the mover. First reference point comes in at around 51,200, 51,250. My guess is that given the Gift Nifty suggesting 100-point downtick, maybe risk reward could favor the bulls if you buy the low point of the day. Back to you.
Nigel, thanks a lot for that.